Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Reality for March the 5th. I'm SOLRETA Antaria, and we've got a few messages here tonight. I received some specifically around looking out for number synchronicities, hence wearing my 333 necklace, and some other things. So there's been a couple of common themes and patterns occurring in some readings lately as well. So I'd love to get in and share that. Before we do, I just want to remind you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button and share this out with your friends. So we have Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic 003 on YouTube, also over on Rumble as well. And as you can see, lots of amazing shows coming up. I can see Beyond Galactic there as well. We can see Stephen and Evan Strong, my friends that were on last week, talking to us about a lot of the forgotten origin stories and the ancient aliens and sharing artifacts with us and ET skulls and bones and things from last week. So if you didn't catch that, I highly recommend catching up with that one. We also have 10% off. So consultations.beyondmystic.net is where you want to head on over to book a reading with me. So save 10% when you use the code word Beyond Mystic in all caps. And you can see here, there's the gorgeous Meg and Sylvia and Sarah and myself. So we have the Mystic Oracle reading, which is so much fun. So both readings will start out with an aura drawing. So I do an energy assessment at the start, and I translate the language of color and meaning and that from your aura into how it relates into our modern day life. But we also look into past life side of things, sometimes in sessions as well. So both Mystic Oracle and Starseed readings start out with an aura drawing. Mystic Oracle is really more geared towards if you've got questions and things that you would really like to look into. It is a great follow-up session too from a Starseed reading if you're looking at more questions and things that you would like, or even diving deep on, particular areas of your life too, because we can look into relationships, we can look into career, we can look into past lives. It really is up to you guys. I work pretty much like an old school oracle in that way, that I open up to source and to spirit, and we bring through the messages and also follow that up. And I just saw 222, follow that up with some tarot and some oracle cards. But Starseed Origins, we really look into where it is that you're connected to on a soul level, where your Starseed origins are, what this means to this day and age and this reality, and how it can really help you to understand your soul mission. So that is a lot of fun too. And I'm meeting so many beautiful clients. I really appreciate getting to know you guys on a deeper level. And we also have, Janine has Beyond Ravens coming up, which is the Quick Draw Tuesdays. So make sure to check that out. This will be on March the 5th today, and this will be at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So please make sure to catch that a little bit later on today. And let's get into this week and see what's coming up from Spirit. So I've just read my little notes that I've got that Spirit wanted me to mention. So the words that I got, they gave me 3 points. And with this, the first one was be open to receiving. And they also guided me towards citrine. So citrine, we know, is about abundance, but it is also attuned to, it's a really great stone for Leo. So for those Leos out there, not only does it help work with abundance, it also has a protective type quality too. I do sometimes like to pair this with amethyst, and you can get ametrine, which is a combination of citrine and amethyst together. So it's a really beautiful stone if you're working with feng shui and abundance. It is a great one to have in your abundance corner, which is where I usually keep mine. And I also have this little beauty that has been on before. So this beautiful quartz generator. So a really great one to work with setting your intentions, working with abundance, and working with other crystals if you want to kind of like amplify the energy. The second thing Spirit was telling me to mention tonight was empty what doesn't resonate. So it really is kind of like emptying our container or spring cleaning. And I know for you guys overseas that, you are heading into spring too. So really think about what is it that no longer resonates? What is it that no longer serves a purpose, and making room to receive. So another thing that we had was a deeper level of commitment to self. And do a little love heart with that as well. Spirit was just sending like a bit of love when it came to that. So what does it mean to have a deeper level of commitment to self? And after they gave me that, and really reflecting on what deeper level of commitment means in terms of, self-nourishment, because I kept getting a word of nourishment, which actually came up in one of the oracle cards as well. So there's a real linked theme that Spirit was giving us. The other thing that we had before we start into the oracle cards today is this book literally got pushed out of my little shelf, and so it wanted to come to the party. So it's called The Method of the Siddhis. And with this, or siddhas, so it talks with Franklin Jones on the spiritual technique of the saviors of mankind. So I pretty much, when Spirit will push a book off my bookshelf, or if I see something kind of edging its way out sometimes, or you get like a vibration calling from one of the books or a vision of the cover, that's how kind of books can work as oracles too. So, or like an oracle deck. So the page that I've marked is really interesting. It talks about assumptions, and it talks about how we can sort of mentally get into an assumption about something, and then we actually will use whether it's mental thought form energy or our spiritual energy to start to put frequency behind that and start to create things. So it's talking about sometimes, so I'll read this to you. So it says, there is only a sensation, the appearance of an assumption of dilemma. If you understand it, you understand that this moment, that it has no existence. It does not exist. In this case, the question of how the dilemma comes about is unnecessary and itself untrue. Because as soon as you look for the dilemma, it has no substance. So by some of us continue the assumption of dilemma and suffering. So as the assumption is of your own activity, at the same moment in which we assume there is suffering, dilemma, that our search is appropriate. So the dilemma is not discoverable. So that our search is appropriate, the dilemma is not discoverable. In fact, there is only this. There is only the obvious, only the event itself prior to the dilemma or to the experience. So it talks about like the dilemma never arising. It talks about that, we really sometimes can mentally feed energy into things or make assumptions about whether it's people or situations or, even in regards to our own future. You guys know that I love law of assumption when it comes to creating like positive outset, positive outcomes for future self and things like that. So it really is talking about not feeding energy into things that can kind of be built in the imagination. So yeah, it really talks about like this sense of magic and things as well. And it refers to yoga more as kind of like meditation in this book. So yeah, that was really interesting that was coming up. So for some of you guys, that might be appropriate in what is it that you could be making assumptions about? What is it that you could be doing, kind of guessing around? Because sometimes we can say, for example, like around relationships, you can make assumptions if you perhaps like don't receive a message, or say for like job interviews, things like that, you can make assumptions. Or even I know, with having kids that are in school and things, and even myself when I was in school, I remember one test I made an assumption because I didn't hear back from the teacher, and she said she was going to email that. I'm like, oh, I must have failed. And it turns out that it was actually the opposite. So on an anatomy and physiology test in college, I actually got 100%. So in an assumption I was making about, oh, it must be so bad, I'm going to have to resit it, it turns out it was actually the opposite was true. So that would be a classic example of like making an assumption. And sometimes we're feeding energy or creating like this fear ball or this like negative ball that just purely doesn't need to exist when we can be putting energy towards something else. So let's have a look into the cards for this week. I will start with the Woodlands Wardens. Let's read one of the oracle cards first. And this week we had the antelope, and it's the antelope and the wheat. So this is all about nourishment, which I was really getting from Spirit, with this like deeper emptying of things that we no longer need and really being open to receiving. So really a deep level of commitment to self, what I was getting, but also nourishment, like with that commitment to self. So do you need to give yourself a little spa treatment, a little pamper, things like that? And I've been saying that to my partner this week as well, like let's do a little, spa type thing, or like, massage or pamper type thing. So it says here, antelopes are associated with community. So traveling in large herds, they work together to detect predators, locate food, care for young and old, This way, the group supports the thriving of the individual. Likewise, golden sheaves of wheat are ancient symbols of prosperity. So a relatively easy grain to grow, store, convert to flour, a staple crop around the world. Wheat is closely associated with wealth and abundance. Together, the antelope and the wheat calls us to nourish ourselves and our communities. So it's all about, are you feeling fulfilled, nourished, and secure? Celebrate your good fortune by sharing it with others in need. Invest in community and ensure that you are supported in leaner times. So it's asking who or what makes me feel nourished and what fills my proverbial cup. So interesting that we also had Citrine come up too. So let's look into the cards for this week and get a pulse check on what's happening for our beautiful Beyond Mystic soul family. And it's interesting, as soon as I close my eyes and feel in to our beautiful group's energy, it's almost like being swept in like a mystical sea. I just see stars and beautiful celestial energies everywhere. There's like deep blues and purples and pinks with like stardust and things. So that's the pulse that I see, like when I feel into everyone's energy together. It's gorgeous. So let me see what we have. And of course, if you want to go deeper and really look into things specifically for self, we do have consultations as well for that. And we have 5 cards. So I'm going to feel into this. And what I'm seeing is like around heart level, a lot of blue, and then I'm seeing around throat, green. So I do feel that it will be about expressing heart energies and speaking from a place of the heart this week is really important. They're giving me the word transformation as well. So I feel that some of us are coming into this new expression of self, and I feel that there's a lot of people finding their voice is what Spirit's showing me. And I am seeing this in readings too, that there's some kind of like set point or a boundary level that a lot of the empaths, and we have a lot of empaths in our Beyond Mystic family and audience as well. But what I'm sort of seeing is for a lot of you this week, it's like getting really raw, getting really like grounded and true, and looking into like what it is that you need this deeper level of nourishment on. So I actually feel there's like more of an organic sense of grounding in on a physical level, which for some of us start seeds, we're more used to grounding in the higher realms. So I'm sort of seeing there's an anchoring to nature and things. So let's flip these cards over. And this is interesting energy. So what we have is Knight of Disc. So we see with this is really kind of like moving forward, or perhaps like offers and things too. And in the astrology and things as well, we are also seeing that the energies are still very much like working with change. For some of the signs, we are seeing like, huge personal growth, new opportunities, total life flips and things as well. But yeah, with this Knight of Disc, interesting, we've got the wheat again. So where I was saying I was feeling nourishment, we really are sort of seeing with this Knight of Disc who's a little bit exhausted, who's been on this journey for a long time, needs to perhaps stop to like replenish, to make sure that he's getting this nourishment. We then also see a brand new beginning for a few of you this week. So Ace of Disc, it's that hand of God with that beautiful gift, whether it's a new offer, whether it's also perhaps something new coming into your life. So be aware of that hand of God. Sometimes it's a thing that we're ignoring or that we're not seeing too. So we also have 5 of Cups energy. So with this 5 of Cups, we also see 5 of Cups. It has, in Chinese medicine, we talk about kidneys, sometimes having fear energy when it's on a negative or kind of like a more detrimental type energy. We also see a lot of liver gallbladder in this too. So for some of you, this nourishment side may be also about like, what is it that I need on a physical level this week? Do I need to take time out? Do I need to make sure that I'm kind of adjusting my diet? Perhaps even looking into what could be affecting on a nervous system level. But we see 5 of Cups can represent where we're focused on the 3 of Cups, which seems to be the loss. And there's usually 2 cups in the background, which represent love, connection, contracts and agreements and things. We also see that this is about holding power. So a 4 of Disc is Capricorn and Sun energy, we also see that this is about protecting the empath. So this beautiful moat of water that goes around the castle is also where we can bring up this drawbridge you guys have heard me talk about quite often on here. It is a card that we do see featured quite heavily. But yeah, with this card of power, 4 of disc, what is it that you're building in regards to future? Please do not get swept up in anything that is not meant for you or things that are no longer in alignment. So we did speak about that at the start. So with this Princess of Swords, and this has been coming up in a few of my client sessions, I've had it heavily coming up today. So I would say a lot of us collectively would be going through Princess of Swords energy this week. So we see that she's built with heart energy. She's not actually built to fight mental energy, anxiety, or drama in any way, shape, or form. It is about kind of setting the boundary, knowing that we can hop off this chimney before it turns into a tower moment and literally hop, skip, jump away from this. So I was guided to get the Alice deck out again today. So let's have a look in what the Alice in Wonderland deck is giving us in terms of clarification. The other thing that I'm really seeing too is these spiritual veils and spiritual like luminous forces that are really coming in with this new epoch as we're in the age of Aquarius. Like I was talking about, you know, how the other week we were talking about how there was a certain energy or ethereal nature to the epoch of Lemuria. Then we had that with Atlantis, and now we're forming another one. Really start to meditate, connect in with your higher self, connect in to these ethereal forces, because it is building more of a psychic sense that will take us into this next domain or this next dimension. So it really will help with the anchoring of ascension. And let's flip these cards over. We have the card of transformation, the Knight of Flowers, which is Knight of Wands. We have the Six of Swords, and we also have the Six of Flowers and the Three of Hedgehogs. So I'll go through each one. So the card of transformation. So we see the caterpillar, the one that usually smokes the DMT in Alice in Wonderland. So this is really looking at like, what is it that I need in life right now? So with this transformation, it is shedding the caterpillar cocoon, which I often see represented as Eight of Swords energy. So where are we holding ourselves back? Where could we be evolving? What is the best thing to take us from caterpillar into butterfly form? So it's a spiritual transformation. It also is to do with like, with the caterpillar, to turn into the butterfly, you actually have to break down the essence of who you are on a DNA level. So you actually need to purge and let go of any old mindsets, any old belief systems, really meditate and look and feel and like surround yourself, immerse yourself in that energy of what does it feel like? What does it look like to be the butterfly? Because that will help you to kind of build this new energy coming in. So Knight of Flowers, which would be Knight of Wands, for me, this is Phoenix energy. This is kind of Phoenix energy rising from the ashes. It's also about letting go of old subconscious programming and things like that. Sometimes we see that this can be like a ghosting energy in traditional tarot. For me, it really is, instead of just having like that quick burst of energy, it also tells us, okay, what do we need to do to prepare ourselves for this long journey ahead? Where are our weak spots? What is it that we need to kind of like patch up or prepare in terms of spring clearing on a spiritual level that will help kind of, you know, what is it that the house needs? What is it that the body needs? What is it the soul needs? So then we have Six of Swords. And with Six of Swords energy, this is my veil card. I know traditionally it can represent journeys and different things. For me, it's the veil between worlds and where we feel into those unseen energies that are coming in. So very important, like we had in the Siddhar's book as well, to be aware of assumptions and things that we're energetically putting out. What kind of like spider webs are you weaving? What kind of energy threads are you putting out that are perhaps like not even needed? So really look at what you're feeling, what you're sensing coming in for you in terms terms of like from the otherworldly veil side of things, but what is it you're also putting out? So it's being aware of your energy. We then have a Six of Flowers, which is a Six of Wands. This is my card of victory. It is Leo energy and Jupiter energy. So growth, expansion, leadership, coming into alignment. Sometimes this will represent celebrating with others that are like-minded, like-hearted. This is a beautiful card. To me, sometimes this also represents community. It's also about celebration. We then see Three of Hedgehogs, which is Three of Discs. So with this, for me, it's a fire that cannot be extinguished by water. It is a brand new, strong foundation. It is a beautiful energy. It is Mars and Capricorn. So there's a lot of strength, a lot of power. So what is it that you're putting energy towards in terms of a new foundation is the very, very strong message that they want you to work on this week. So a lot of deep reflection, a lot of looking into the energies that you're casting out, the energies you're open to receiving, where it is that you're going to be setting up like a new foundation and going towards. And we will read this last little oracle card in a second. They're just telling me to pick some Star Tarot. They want 3 cards. We have Temperance, so divine timing. We see the Seven of Pentacles, and we also have 3 of Cups. Oh, bonus card, hold on guys. 3 of Wands as well. So Temperance, there's divine timing and things that have been waiting in the wings perhaps, or what it is that you're birthing. So really look into, I know with me, I've been heavily working on my tea a lot and it's been birthing over the last couple of years. So what is it perhaps that you've also had like working on in the wings that you're really wanting to really, as we're heading into this more of a true new year when it comes to astrology. So what is it that you want to have completed, I would say, before we hit April? We then have 3 of Cups. So this is about abundance too. So remember, we also had citrine when we were talking about abundance. So this is the goddesses toasting together. This is sometimes coming back together with the witches and celebrating. It is Mercury and Cancerian energy too. So it's a little bit about your mind and intuition working in unison. And we have a 3 of Wands, which is the card of virtue. Also, butterfly energy, transformation. What is it that you're spiritually aligned with? So we had the 3 of Discs, the 3 of Cups, and the 3 of Wands. So it really is checking in on all levels what it is that you're aligned with, and what is like a really good foundation. And let's come back into, just before we hit the oracle, for the last time, I want to just remind you guys, we have Beyond Galactic coming up Friday night, 8 p.m. and it is 8-8 on here, which is very exciting. I've seen a lot of 8-8. And that's what I wanted to mention too, is Spirit has been throwing numbers out like crazy. I've been seeing 369, 333, 222, and other friends and family have been like giving, oh my gosh, I just saw 222 on my screen again as well. So noticing like, are others kind of like in vibrational alignment number wise too? And I know some of my clients have been as well, or they'll be like calling out on their clock, like what comes up and things. So we're getting a lot of signs and signals and messages from Spirit at the moment. So please come on over and check out Beyond Galactic. We had an amazing episode last week with Stephen and Evan Strong. So if you haven't caught up on that one, if you want to see actual skulls and bones and hear about actual ET beings that were physically living on the earth that are different to us, and perhaps even connected to do with being our ancestors, I definitely recommend go check out Beyond Galactic from last week. And you'll even see on my social media, I put up a little reel too, which is like a little taster that actually shows some of the bones, and that is a good one to also check out. But yeah, let's get back into, please like, share, subscribe over at Beyond Mystic. And yeah, if there's a favorite episode or you have like a favorite topic too, please make sure to share it with friends, because it really helps us to get the message out there. It helps us to keep doing the work that we love and making these videos for you guys as well. So we also have save 10% off with Beyond Mystic code. So consultations.beyondmystic.net, and you will see my little face wearing the pink down the bottom. So yeah, that's what we have for tonight. I want to share with you before we go though. Let me just bring this up. So we have the pygmy possum. Oh, and I've just lost my page. Let me just find it again. Oh, and I just opened up to the page of possum. But this one is one of our cute little guys that we have here. Look how adorable this little baby is. And I've actually seen these around. They're so cute. Looks like it's on a little banksia, perhaps, the plant. So pygmy possum. And this is all about being inquisitive. It's about food patterns, sacred geometry, and also this is really interesting because I've had a lot of sacred geometry and visions and fractals and different like Mandelbrot set type things coming up this week as well. So with this, it says being tiny doesn't mean that you aren't seen. Pygmy possum asks you to consider any habits, routines, emotional cycles, or thought processes that might be impacting you adversely. So remembering this when we talked about it in the Siddharths as well, to not make assumptions or send energy out. So really look at like how your thoughts are creating your reality. So by understanding unwanted patterns, you can begin to move forward with a deeper understanding of yourself. You may awaken some hidden talents too. Be flexible and ready to challenge your beliefs and behaviors. Small changes can make significant differences to our health, relationships, opportunities, and more. Pygmy possum brings your attention to sacred geometry. If you aren't familiar with this area, ignite your curiosity, do some research, and find out which symbols resonate for you. The flower of life is a great place to start. So being more conscious of the food on your plate, are you giving your body all that it needs to achieve your goals? Perhaps you can start with a veggie garden and grow some herbs. Pygmy possum encourages you to learn more about the food that you eat and its nutritional value. So it's also to be more flexible. It's for releasing old patterns, which we had Spirit also talking about too. This is also for better understanding your diet. It's connected to the base chakra, and it's all connected to do with you matter. So that is a little bit of this mantra. The other mantra as well is I release outdated patterns and awaken my hidden talent. So there is a new era birthing for a lot of you guys right now. I look forward to seeing you guys over at Beyond Galactic on the Friday night, which is my weekend. So thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you guys really, really soon. Let me know in the comments like what's been coming up for you, especially if you're having number synchronicities. I would love to see if we have some of the same.